All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're taking some profound ancient wisdom, specifically from the Avatamasa Sutra, and we're going to look at it through a really modern, kind of geeky lens technology. We're going to explore what happens when you treat ancient spirituality like a cutting edge operating system.
So, just for a second, forget everything you think you know about spiritual awakening. Forget the mountaintops, the chanting, all of it. Instead, I want you to ask yourself this question. What if enlightenment isn't some far off mystical state you might reach one day? What if it's more like a cognitive upgrade, a brand new operating system you could actually install for your consciousness?
This whole idea actually leads to a complete framework, which the source material calls the Awakening Operating System, and it's got three main layers. The first layer is all about mind governance, basically mastering your own internal world. Then there's world generation, which is about understanding the engine that actually creates your reality. And finally, you get to cognitive coding, where you literally learn the source code of the universe itself. So here's our game plan, our system installation for today. First, we're going to install Module 1 and build what's called your Mind City. After that, we'll plug into Module 2, the Cosmic Matrix. Then we'll wrap up the core install with Module 3, getting access to reality's source code. And at the end, we'll talk about how you can actually get this new system up and running for yourself. Let's get started. Okay, first up, Module 1, your Mind City. This is the absolute foundation. I mean, think about it. Before you can even begin to upgrade how you see the outside world, you've got to build a stable, robust architecture on the inside. The whole journey starts right here, inside your own head. The source gives us this brilliant concept of the mind city. And this is not just some pretty metaphor, okay? It is a practical, powerful framework. It asks you to stop seeing your mind as this chaotic, uncontrollable mess and start treating it like a system. A city that you can consciously build, that you can defend from negative inputs, that you can upgrade with new skills and expand over time. And this Mind City is broken down into 5 core systems, almost like software modules. You've got a defense system. Think of it as an attention firewall to block out all the noise and distraction. There's a cleaning system for debugging your own cognitive biases, a growth system for continuous long-term improvement, an expansion system to help you move from just thinking about yourself to a more global perspective. And then there's the master awareness system, which is about seeing that reality is kind of like a projection, but still being able to function in it effectively. So the whole point of this first module really comes down to this quote here. The goal is not to run away from the world and its problems. No, the goal is to build an internal mental system that is so vast, so stable, and so powerful that it can actually process and hold the entire universe without crashing. It's all about building capacity, not about escaping. All right, so once your internal city is built and running smoothly, the OS starts to zoom out. Module 2 is all about helping you understand the engine that actually generates the world you experience every single day. The Cosmic Matrix. And this is where we have a huge aha moment. I mean, we all know Lady Maya as the historical mother of Siddhartha Gautama, right? The Buddha. But the source text reveals a much, much deeper meaning. She isn't just a mother, she represents the mother, the generative principle of the entire cosmos, the universal matrix from which all awakened beings, all Buddhas, actually come from. This just forces a massive shift in how you think. Maya is not a person to be worshipped. She's a process. She's the cosmic mechanism itself. So why does that matter? Well, it's a total game changer. You move from focusing on one historical figure to understanding a universal system. It suggests that awakening isn't some random miracle, but a reproducible result of a cosmic process that we can actually learn to work with. And the scale of this idea is just staggering. The text describes her form as being like empty space, but somehow containing infinite worlds inside of it. It's an ancient description of something that sounds a lot like what modern physics might call a holographic principle, a kind of universal interface where the entire cosmos is encoded and projected from. Okay, now it's time for our final and most advanced upgrade, Module 3. We've organized our mind, we've understood the engine of reality. Now we're going to learn how to read and interact with its fundamental programming, its source code. And this is introduced through a wild concept called the alphabet gate. The core idea here is that language isn't just for talking to each other. Every single letter, every sound is actually a key. It's a portal that unlocks a fundamental principle or a dimension of the universe. It's literally the instruction set for reality. So let's look at how this actually works, because it's fascinating.
These aren't just random sounds, they act like cognitive switches. For example, the sound A is said to unlock the perception of non-duality, that state where you see everything as one interconnected whole. Then the sound Da unlocks the opposite, the perception of differentiation, of all the little details. It's not magic, it's about using these sounds as tools to train your mind to access and hold these incredibly profound states of awareness whenever you want.
So what's the modern translation here? What does this mean for us? Well, it's a profound idea that really clicks with our digital world, right? The idea that the universe isn't fundamentally made of stuff, of matter. It's fundamentally made of information. It's a structured system of symbols and code, and if you can understand that code, you can start to interact with reality on the most basic level possible.
So we've gone through the whole theory behind this Awakening OS, from the Mind City to the cosmic source code. But an operating system is totally useless if you don't actually install and run it. So now, let's talk about you. How do you make this system operational in your own life?
First, let's really get this ultimate takeaway, because it's a big one. The end goal here is a radical shift in your identity. You are not just a user trying to achieve some enlightened status update. No. You are learning to embody the entire operating system. You're learning to become the very mechanism that generates awakening itself. But this isn't just some high-level theory that sounds cool. The source material actually boils all of this down into a few practical, actionable things you can start with, like today. There are 3 key practices to really focus on. So what can you actually do? Well, first, start building your mind city. Make it a daily check-in. Ask yourself, did I maintain my attention firewall today? Was my awareness really online? Second, practice observing the world as illusory. Now, this doesn't mean you deny reality. It just means seeing it like a dream, which helps reduce its emotional grip on you. And third, engage with the code layer. Actively analyze the ideas and beliefs you run into. Break them down, see their parts, and learn to restructure them for yourself. And that really brings us to the end. We've explored the entire architecture of this ancient operating system for awakening. So the only question that's really left is the one right here on the screen. You've learned about the system. When will you start becoming it? Thanks for listening.